What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
At NBS, we believe in banking for life. For over 160 years, we've been a trusted banking provider for generations of locals like you. We know our clients personally and build long-term relationships with them, offering flexibility by giving our staff freedom to make quick decisions to put them first. Experience banking for life with NBS.
Welcome to the Bays Joinery Football Focus, where we cover all things football in the top of the South. I'm Chris Butler. Welcome back to my co-host, Ryan Skippy Stewart. G'day, Skippy. How are you, mate?
Good, Chris. Good to be back.
He'll be feeling pretty happy, I'd imagine, so we'll talk about that later in the show. Our very special guest is Neil Geeza Harding. No one in your club has just a normal name, do they? There's always a middle nickname. Geeza, how you going, mate? Good to see you back again.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what you're up to this season. I noticed in the off-season, not only the famous videos, the demonstration videos, which are fantastic, but you're doing a bit of academy stuff and...
Yeah, pretty similar to last year. So I've got my academy group doing the under-13 boys and doing the women as well. So focusing on the Women Premier League as well this season and all sorts of other stuff as well. But
and
all
did that kind of carry on sort of throughout the summer period, did it? Or
well, I did the under-17 boys through the summer. And the academy goes, we don't play games, but we train the kids all through the summer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And over the holidays, I started making a few videos for the parents, for the kids to do a little bit extra in their downtime. And started expanding a little bit with it. So yeah, it's quite fun.
Oh, it's been going down well. And so tell us what your plans are for this season.
So yeah, this season I'm taking the women's team on.
Right.
We just started all that. And the boys academy. So yeah,
well,
focusing on that. Off season, I do a lot of other stuff, but mainly focusing on the women this year and the boys academy, because now they've gone from pre-academy to academy. They're a lot more work, so it's good fun. Yeah, love it. My son's involved in that team as well, so yeah, it's quite fun. But yeah, my main focus is the women this year.
Yes,
hopefully we can be successful.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, we'll talk about that more coming up. A shout out to our naming rights sponsor, Bays Joinery, George Molnar and the team. And just a little bit about Bays. Bays Joinery design, manufacture and install custom-made kitchens, bathrooms, bespoke furniture, timber, windows, doors and staircases, wardrobes and storage solutions. They also manufacture to architects' plans or custom design solutions for commercial projects. They work with a fantastic range of product suppliers, including the Laminex range, which I believe Phil Thompson, our man, is the local rep for that. So shout out to Phil. Our new venue sponsor, we know, the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team. And it was a busy weekend. Saw a video on Facebook with the place absolutely pumping, Stan. So.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely going off. We had a new band in here, Hysteria, playing, and you could hardly tell it was their first gig because the place was just rocking.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Tell us about this weekend, busy weekend coming up.
Yeah, it's full on this weekend. We've got Gentle Giant on Friday, Take Me Out Saturday, and a brand new act, Bo, playing out in the Garden Bar on Sunday after the meat raffle.
Live music's the place to come, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Got Bo playing. I know Bo. He's good.
Food. So snacks.
Yeah, we've got snacks and bar meals over here on the sports bar, and then over in the Batch restaurant we've got some really good restaurant meals, and then on Sundays we're bringing in a buffet for lunch and dinner as well.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. And accommodation too, so people want to stay for the weekend.
Yeah, give us a call and we'll get you sorted.
Great, fantastic. Thank you very much, Stan. You're welcome to go and get on with the job. Okay, on this week's show, we talk senior men and women's local premiership, the Southern League men's and women, got overseas news and also New Zealand football news, and of course the Premiership with some of it live this morning as we're recording. So we'll go through those results. First of all, the senior football update brought to you by Sheehan Financial, Kiwi Saver Insurance and Financial Planning. So thanks to Mark Sheehan and the team. The Nelson Pine Senior Women's Premiership, and now what's happening is that's 13th it kicks off. Is that right?
Saturday week.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So Hot House Created Foxes, Mapua Cougars, Nelson Suburbs Swans, and is there news on that front? Did you say that there was another team?
The other team that's missing from that is the Nelson Suburbs SPL Reserves that we had last year. And
so there's two suburbs.
Yeah, I've got a development team that will hopefully push into the Southern League. And they played in the first division last year.
Right. Okay.
Same as this
and
year.
I think Richmond are still working on another team.
Okay, we've got the Golden Bay Shield Maidens, FC Nelson Wahine, the Sprig and Fern Tahuna Breakers, Motueka AFC Angels, and maybe another one from Richmond.
Yep.
So that would be fantastic. The Nelson Pine Men's Premiership Division 1, again, that starts off on the 13th. FC Nelson, Rangers, Nelson Suburbs Reserves, they're starting to look good, coming together.
Yeah, it's again we've had an influx of players this year. We've been quite lucky, so I do think that team will be a lot more competitive. There'll be a lot more experience in it than there has been in the last few years. It's been quite a young side, so yeah, again, it's a team that we want to push because again, the league's not really the important thing for them. It's trying to get in the first team. So
yeah, it's great to see the young lot coming through.
Yeah, and they're doing really well. So yeah, it's good to have them in there and good for them to have good competition and try to get into the first team. So yeah,
Garden, Motul, Motueka. We've got Richmond, Sprig and Fern, Tahuna, and potentially, if it all settles down, I'm not too sure how the first round goes, but FC Nelson Karini and Golden Bay Mountain Goats
they're up.
come into the picture. So
yeah,
fantastic. All right, here's your area, Neil. So the Southern League Women, it starts this weekend, and let's first of all talk about the game, Hallswell United versus Nelson Suburbs. It's at the Hallswell Domain. Now, is that on Saturday? Or
the game's on Sunday.
On Sunday. Yeah. And what time's kick-off?
Kick-off's 12, but potentially a bit earlier at 11 now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, just due to travel arrangements. But yeah, it'll be around 11, 12 o'clock on Sunday.
Right. Any links this time? Because last week we managed to get a link.
We've been working on that. Yeah, it should be streamed.
Should be streaming live.
Yep.
Right, fantastic. Yeah. And I like the little special effect where you could just watch highlights every now and again. It pulls not exactly the right highlight bits, but it was at least you can watch it. So tell us about Hallswell and tell us about the game for Saturday.
Yeah, they were a strong side.
Sunday, sorry.
They were a strong side and they got a good coach. We actually played them in a pre-season friendly. So it's good to see the team. They've made a lot of changes since last year. And you can see that they've developed a bit more. They've got some bigger, stronger girls out there. But when they came to play us, they had a lot of players and she was mixing up a few reserves at first team. So it's hard to judge what they were going to do. But yeah, we went 2-0 down to them straight away and we was a bit panicky. The girls kind of pulled their head in a little bit and we sorted it out and we won the game 4-2 in the end.
Oh, wow.
But it was 3 30-minute games. So it took us that 30 minutes to get our wind, I guess. And then we done really well in the rest of the game. So I was quite happy. I was a little bit worried to start off with, but towards the end of it, it was really good. So we took a lot from that. And then hopefully we can go down and play well against them again. But they because we did 3 30-minute games, she did 3 different formations and played around with all sorts. So don't know what to expect. But the girls are ready and we're all ready to go. So
good luck. All right. Looking forward to that. Looking at the other games there, we've got that's Nomads, isn't it? NW United.
Nomads, WIMAC.
WIMAC combined.
Yeah.
They're taking on Kashmir Technical. Geezer, what do you think on that one?
It's tough, really, because I don't think Cash Tech are going to lose many games this year. Right. But we don't know a lot about this new team that have merged together.
Yes,
they could be really good. But I think Cash Tech are going to be very strong this year because they've got a few new extra players.
Right.
I'm thinking Cash Tech should win that game. But you never know.
Selwyn United versus Universities of Canterbury, they're always a strong side, aren't they?
Yeah, that'll be a lot closer, that game, to be honest. Probably the Unis will win that one, but you never know what Selwyn's got to offer. A lot of the teams have changed this year from last year with merging together and all sorts. So, yeah, it'd be good to see. But yeah, the unis will be strong as they always are.
Coastal Spirit Football Club have the bye, so good luck, Geeza. We'll see how this weekend goes. Southern League men, and we got the first round last week, and 9-0.
Yeah. Yeah, things went better than I thought.
Oh, no.
To
You'd have to say that, would you?
yeah, to be honest. No, I thought, as I said last week on the show, I think the boys they've worked really, really hard in pre-season. And again, we know FC 2011 were relegated out of the league last year, but again, you don't know what the next season brings. So I think the boys went down there and played to what they had to, and didn't get into bad habits. And being in 6 and 7 up, it can lead to bad habits. And I thought we were very professional in what we did. So great result, but big game this week for us. We've got Coastal Spirit at home. They've brought in a lot of players, and it'll give us a real true guide to where we're at. So the boys are looking forward to it. As you can imagine, training was easy last night. Everyone was in good form, and yeah, we'll just try to just build a little momentum now and see if we can go into that game and get a win.
So was it a case that things just went well, or was it a case that FC just weren't that strong, or was it that perhaps you've sorted a few things out and actually you've got some goal scorers this year?
We didn't give them the opportunity to get into the game. To be honest, we could have been 1-0 up in 30 seconds. We literally just didn't let them out of their half.
So that was more of a defensive effort, do you think?
Yeah, just from the front two, Lennon and Spencer were just working so hard out of possession and putting their back four under pressure all the time, and they just couldn't cope with it. And it was really, really good. And so we'll move on. We know the next game will be a lot harder. Yeah, but we've got to take all the positives from it, and there was quite a few. So
some big scores if you look at the results. Ferrymead Bays 1-0 over Universities of Canterbury, so that was close. But Christchurch United 3-0 over Nomads United. But Cashmere Technical 5-1 over Dunedin City Royals. And then, of course, your big win 9-0, and then Coastal Spirit 7-0 against Selwyn United. So, as you say, Coastal Spirit's going to be strong.
That was 6-0 at halftime.
Oh, with that?
Back in, yeah.
Oh, well, at least Selwyn sorted a few things out at half time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we look at the draw then, and let's go through it. Nomads United taking on Dunedin City Royals. What are your thoughts on that one, Skippy?
I think Dunedin City Royals, it's one of them being a university city where chops and changes. I think they're probably not as strong as they've been in the past. They've lost 6 or 7 starters, which again, Nomads at home, young side, and if they start well, they're hard to beat because they go off momentum. So I think it'll be a tough one for both of them, but I think probably a 2-1 win to Nomads, I would say.
Cashmere Technical and FC 20, Geeza. What do you think?
Well, Cash Tech are strong. It's hard to say bad things about them because they're really strong at the moment. So they probably get that result, and that league will probably be 2 ends of the table. Yeah,
it's a bit like last year probably. Universities of Canterbury versus Selwyn, and Skippy, what do you think on that one?
Yeah, again, Universities. A few of our boys from Nelson are playing for them. Sam Newsom, who was at FC Nelson, he's part of that squad. Jacob Brooks, who used to play for us from Motueka, he's part of that squad. So, yeah, I would, with those boys in the team, I would be wanting Unis to win that one.
Then we've got Ferrymead Bays versus Christchurch United. So another tough one for Ferrymead.
Yeah, tough one for Ferrymead, but you never know. You never know. Yeah? Early games, goals are in.
And then, of course, Nelson Suburbs versus Coastal Spirit. Now, what day is that on?
Sunday.
So that's on Sunday, kick-off time, 12:30. Be a great day to get down and support the boys, and it's going to be a tough game. So you're feeling good about your prospects, Skippy?
Yeah, well, it's my old club as well. So so they brought me over to New Zealand. So yeah, it's always good to play them. Last year was the first year that we have beat them twice in one season. But as I said, it's a completely new team. They've brought in some really, really good players, and but we'll be up for it. And I think it'll be a really good tie. I really do think it'll be a good game of football.
Get down there and support Nelson Suburbs overseas. And we now have the draw for the Euros 2024. And Group A, Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. Good to see Scotland in there. Group B, Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania. That's quite a strong group. Group C, Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. So England's looking not too bad on that draw,
group, to be honest. Yeah.
Do you think they can get out of that one?
team's looking good at the moment. I'm confident as always, but yeah, you never know.
Group D, Poland, Netherlands, Austria, and France. Poland snuck in there from the playoffs. I thought.
Poor Wales. They lost
Oh
on penalty.
yes.
Yeah, but yeah, Poland. Lewandowski's last one, I think, is he's still playing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he's still going.
That'll
Yeah.
be his last tournament, I would say. So he'll be wanting to go out in a high, but that's a tough group.
It is a tough
That group D's, that's tough.
Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. Another tough group. And then you've got Group F, Turkey, Georgia,
First
Portugal,
time.
and Czechoslovakia. So yeah, what a great result for Georgia.
Yeah, fantastic.
I watched. I think I might have seen the highlights of that. Yeah, and just the atmosphere at the end.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. New Zealand football and the All Whites have drawn with Tunisia in Cairo in the second game of their FIFA series. So they went down to Egypt and then ended up with a draw with Tunisia, but unfortunately lost on penalties in the Akud Cup. So did you happen to see highlights of that game?
I seen a bit of the Tunisia game. I thought in spells they were very good, especially in possession. We're a lot more structured than we have been in the past, and we don't look to just see games out. We're actually going out to win them, which I think is brilliant for them. And I think they're continue to grow as a team, and the younger lads are now getting older. I think the future looks good for the All Whites. To be fair, I think they've got some really good players there. So yeah,
I agree. They're definitely a lot stronger these days, and they're a lot more fun to watch. And they got a lot of support behind them as well. So yeah, they can only get stronger, and it's good that they're branching out and they're going to start playing more competitive teams as well.
Yeah, that's what's
really, really good for it.
Desperately needed, isn't it?
Yep.
Phoenix women, and good way to end the season, 2-0 over Western Sydney. So they'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, as I said, we talked about it last week. They started the season so well. They got a few bumps along the way, but I think they're a lot more competitive now than they were from 2 years ago when they entered the league. So can only get better, I'd say.
Well, Geeza, it's a better result than last year, 8th on the table.
Yep.
But so, I guess it's hard for them to know what to feel because they had such a good start. In some respects, they may feel a little bit disappointed with the fact that it was ended up at 8th, but they weren't last, which is an improvement.
Exactly.
In that case.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're only getting stronger as well, and they got a good team there. So yeah.
They're playing when they've got their full squad, they're playing some nice football, aren't they?
Yep. Women's football's quite unpredictable as well. I mean, you could get a team that will go out there and win 6-0 and the next week lose 6-0. So, anything can happen, I've learned. So,
right.
Yeah, I guess it's happening right at the top level as well.
Yeah. Phoenix men carry on in their ways, a 1-0 win over Brisbane Roar. And at times, the Roar were really sort of peppering their goal, weren't they?
Yeah.
But they managed to do it. I mean, within the first 70 seconds, wouldn't it? Or something of that nature.
Yeah,
Could it be?
But the thing is that they hung in there. Bit unfortunate with Rufer getting a red card. It was a definite stomp, wasn't it?
I didn't see it, but apparently they've appealed it.
Yeah, I could imagine that they would appeal it because
it didn't look good.
I'm trying to defend it here.
Yeah.
So it was in the tackle, and the guy had the ball in his feet, so he went through and won the ball. So there was no penalty there, but there was a slight stomp.
Right. Okay.
And the argument will be: did he
try to
shift his weight and accidentally put his foot on the leg, or did he actually give him a bit of a stomp? And he was pretty angry, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
He wasn't happy.
That's the way he plays. That's the way he plays.
And he got fired up at the end, didn't he? So it's a big call, that one, but it did look like, unfortunately, a stomp to me. So this weekend, Central Coast Mariners take on Wellington, and that's an away game at the Industry Group Stadium, 7:30 Saturday night, and that's 1 and 2, isn't it, on the table?
Yep, I think Central Coast won last night or the night before. They beat 2-1. They had a game Sydney. I think they beat Sydney 2-1 because they had a game in hand. So yeah.
So not a lot to these games except that you want to try and stay where you are in the table for those home finals.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know what even if they take a loss at the moment, it's not the end of the world, but they want to carry on that form, won't they?
Yeah. And we talked about it last week, defensively, how good the Wellington Phoenix are now is incredible. It is incredible how they sit in, and they're patient to sit in, and they can do it, and teams can't break them down. and I think he's done it all season. So I think if they can finish top, I can't see them losing in the playoffs, to be honest. I really can't. They're in great form.
Yeah, if they can not let it go to their heads too much,
Yeah,
keep their system going and take every game at a time.
It's probably been the theme, isn't it? Surely they've talked all season about past years' inconsistency and how can we make it more consistent. And they've found a formula and it's working. They're not going to break it, are they?
Nope.
And they're a young side, so surely the coach is in their head saying, lads, don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, they must be, They must be.
You'd hope.
They don't want a trip.
3 points clear at the top of the table with even on games, so things looking pretty good. The Premier League, and in actual fact, as I was printing this out, the live symbols were still going on some of these games. So Newcastle and Everton. So I think, did that end up still being a draw?
I think when I checked it, it was still 1-1.
So let's get out our phones and we'll give you an up-to-date on how all these ended up. I probably should have had this.
Yep. So Newcastle Everton was 1-1.
Right.
Notts Forest finished 3-1. Chris Wood scored.
Well, look, I'm in two minds there because I'm not very happy that Fulham went down 3-1.
1-0 Bournemouth.
And but Nottingham Forest, I'm happy for them because they need the 3 points, and also Chris Wood scored in the 19th, and so he's having a cracker. Burnley and Wolves, what did that end up being? 1-1.
Good point for Burnley.
And then what's happening with Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, Geeza?
1-0 Bournemouth.
Over.
Wow, so they'd be happy with that. And Crystal Palace, oh, geez, they're
starting to get a bit rough down there,
aren't they?
Yeah.
So, but Bournemouth will be wrapped with that, and then West Ham and Tottenham will 1-1 at 1 point.
Finished
So
1-1.
Finished at 1-1. Brentford and Brighton. That's yet to be played.
That's
so that's
tomorrow,
tomorrow morning. So that's going to be interesting. There'll be another. Geez, that's going to be a tough game.
It will be a good game.
Arsenal and Luton, and won't be Arsenal be absolutely wrapped. Let's hope they don't take a holiday against Luton.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A tough game for Luton. Man City against Aston Villa, and that must have got a bit of hunger in them. I mean, that second half, they were absolutely peppering Arsenal, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. It was funny. I don't know if you've seen Roy Keane's interview after.
No,
about Haaland. He says when he's not scoring goals, he looks like a League Two player. It's crazy. But he said it. He said when he's not scoring goals,
just gets his head down. He's saying he gets his
head down, and it was a funny statement. But then when you watch the game, when he's not on tune, he's just
average. Yeah. He's actually human.
I think it is starting to add. I think Man City with the injuries they've got now from the international break, I think.
But surely teams, when you've got a player that's done so well, they've got. I mean, a large part of their strategy going to the game is how to take him out of the game, isn't it?
100%.
So he's got to try and free himself up, and and he gets close, but then you start to lose a bit of confidence if things don't go your way. Then you start, missing the goal.
He misses De Bruyne as well in there, just feeding him.
Yeah, and it upsets the apple cart, and you can't, find that form again. It's tough. So Man City and Aston Villa, that'd be a good game actually.
Yep, I do think so. I think Villa are a good side when they turn up.
Yeah,
and they've done that this year. They've battered a few teams at home, so that'll be an interesting one.
They're at the top of the table, Skippy. Liverpool get the win.
Oh, we should be beating Sheffield United.
Well, they almost beat Fulham.
Yeah, if we don't beat them at home, we probably don't deserve to win the league.
They actually played a right at home, Sheffield against Fulham.
So coming to Anfield, I think it'll be a tough ask for them. But Liverpool are finding a way to win at the moment. I think I read a thing yesterday. 25 times they've came from behind to win this year, Liverpool.
Jeez.
We've never done that in the past. So I think Klopp's resignation halfway through the season's added a bit of spice to the team, and I do think it would be the fairy tale to do it, but there's 9 games left. Anything can still happen, so we still got to go to Old Trafford. But if we can win and put more pressure on City and Arsenal, that would be good. And
Chelsea and Man U, well, actually, that you never know, that could be quite even actually, because Chelsea just starting to find a little bit of form. They won't be happy again where they are, but it's a young side of Man U. I mean, just hot and cold, aren't they?
Up and down, but getting a lot better. So I think they should get over Chelsea. It'd be a great game to watch.
Who do you support?
United. So
I can read that a mile.
Yeah, of course you can. We're all the same. We're all biased.
Win that game.
And then there's another round on Sunday, and it's a bit it's a bit hard to tell based on the games we've just done, but Crystal Palace, geez, that doesn't get any easier either, does it? Man City, you got Wolves and West Ham, Everton and Burnley. Everton desperate for points. Burnley the same. Aston Villa against Brentford, that would be a good game. Fulham need to bounce back against Newcastle, again another tough team. Luton and Bournemouth. I mean, this is bottom of the table clashes now, isn't it?
Yep.
They desperately need it. Brighton and Arsenal, another good game.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, last time they played as well.
I think, that's a tough game for Arsenal. Brighton always seem to get up for that one.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
And then is you going to spoil the party?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll have to have a beer on it, Skip. We'll have a pint on the game. Liverpool's strong at the moment, but yeah.
It's at home.
Game this
It's
is
at home.
Yeah. I'm not going to say too much.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Sheffield United versus Chelsea. So you'd have to again. Well, Sheffield have got to fight for their lives, haven't they?
Yeah.
And it just went to show against Fulham that they could hold their own. And in fact, picked up a draw there. So, but Chelsea, they are finding some form in Tottenham and Nottingham Forest, and who knows there, because
That's just
Nottingham Forest are just playing for their lives, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Another round of Premiership football, and we wait with bated breath to see how the rest of the season goes. We must shout out to the Masters. We got a bit of jip, didn't we? Last week?
We got hammered in the socials.
We got angry faces.
First time ever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So tell us about the Masters, Skip. What have you managed to find out?
Oh, so again, the Masters last year, we sort of went away from the Masters a couple of seasons ago because we didn't have enough teams. I think it was 3 or 4. And then we rebuilt it 2 seasons ago and got up to 6 teams, and then it went up to 8. And this year it's up to 10. So they've got 10 teams in the Masters League. So really good competition. Great to keep people from the Masters in the game. It's a massive part of football, and just having them around the club and stuff as well with their history in football and their experience and where they've played. It's good for a club to have a Masters team and have them engaged. So yeah, shout out to the Masters guys. I know our club, they train, and OFC's lads train as well, and they're still
train.
Yeah, they still want to play.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great league actually.
They still want to play the game.
Team in as well.
So yeah, looking forward, and I think nearly every club has a team, which is fantastic. So I think it'll be
Masters is the way forward.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good league. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the results in that.
And rolling subs, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, roller subs, quite casual. Later kickoff, is it 3 o'clock? No, it's 1 o'clock, isn't it?
1 o'clock kickoffs.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the players in it have got a good history, played for years. Like Pete Hampstead, for example. He'll be playing for the Tahuna Masters, and a few of those guys. And there's a few, younger 40-year-olds that are stepping in as well to strengthen up some of the sides. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really competitive league.
It'll be a tight league.
It will be. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And it's good to have them play at 1 because they're in the club rooms and they're really your supporters for the 3 o'clock games, aren't they?
So social.
They're brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
They are fantastic around the club. We had, we got in contact. A club in Czechoslovakia Czech Republic got in contact with us. We had a friendly game about a month ago. Our Masters played a team from the Czech Republic. It was incredible.
It was brutal.
It was. So they played the game and then they stayed around and they had a drink in the club rooms. But this team was just touring Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Got in contact. So it was fantastic to host them. And the boys really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I do think it's going to be a good league, and it's good, as I said, to keep people engaged with football.
Yeah.
Beyond their heyday. But,
they are the lifeblood, isn't it?
Of course they are.
The guys raising the money and running the bars and doing the lines and a chance to still have a kick around. It's very important.
And go to the pub after the meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Get out of the house. All right. Well, so we happy now, Masters?
Yeah.
Are we happy? See, the thing is now they want a full breakdown of their draws, their scores, goal differences.
Yeah, we'll share them and ask them to come on.
We've only got limited time on this podcast, guys, so we'll see how we go, see what the feedback's like. That's it. Hey, thanks very much once again. Appreciate that, Skippy, for coming and giving
no worries, mate.
An update.
Good
luck
here.
this weekend on Sunday. Geeza, good luck travelling down to Christchurch. And that's it. Thanks to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team, of course, Neil Geeza Harding, Ryan, Skippy, Stewart, and of course, Bays Joinery, our naming rights sponsor, for their support. You can catch this and other podcasts on nbstalknelson.co.nz, our social media channels, Facebook and Instagram, and now on Spotify. So there you go. Listen to it in the car as you go into Christchurch. We'll see you again next week on the Bays Joinery Football Focus. See you next week.
What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.